From the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, this is Carolina Week.
Good evening, I'm Tim Nelson. Thanks for joining us for the October 10th edition of Carolina Week.
And I'm Brigida Mack. We're proud to be bringing you coverage of Carolina news and events.
We begin with how national news is affecting us locally. As the federal government warns utilities across the country to stay on high alert, OWASA is stepping up security to ensure our water is safe here at home. OWASA's water treatment plant in Carrboro is now locked 24 hours a day. Chemical delivery trucks have to enter through an electronic gate, and there's more surveillance all around the plant. Employees are swiping ID cards just to get inside, and lab analysts are checking water for suspicious chemicals, and they're doing so even more carefully than they did before September 11th. University Lake is among the local watersheds being patrolled frequently by police. Executive Director Ed Kerwin says that the community can help keep our water safe.
And again, that's something that our customers can do for us, of being very aware of the community, what's going on, and be suspicious. You know, let's know for sure. And if you see an OWASA employee, ask for their photo ID.
Kerwin says OWASA has not received any threats concerning the area's water supply.
Groups on campus are showing support for Muslims and spreading the message Islam means peace.
And by God, how can we tell a Muslim who has chosen their faith, don't practice it here? We have to look.
Dozens gathered Wednesday at Polk Place to show solidarity despite religious differences. Those who didn't come wearing traditional Muslim clothing were welcomed with kufis and hijab. Several speakers addressed the diverse crowd, offering support for Muslim Americans. Event co-organizer Raj Panjabi says that education is the key to understanding Islam.
Without education, you have fear, and with fear comes hate, and all of that spurs from ignorance.
He adds that Islam is a simple, peaceful faith.
The Young Republicans recently held a rally on Polk Place, encouraging the nation to stand united in this time of uncertainty and national tragedy. Among the many who spoke were North Carolina Senator Howard Lee.
In spite of how hard it is sitting here, our leaders are feeling the heat equally as great, if not greater, and they are rising to the occasion to defend America, and I think that is important. So, my friends, let us join together and proclaim here today that you, as I, am proud to be in America and proud to be an American.
Here on campus, there's now a silent demonstration concerning the war. What you see here was set up Wednesday at McCorkle Place. The sign in front of the fencing says this site is dedicated to the future monument of America's new war. No word yet on who put it there or whether the demonstration is intended to protest or support the war.
The university is entering a new period of growth. Now that the town council has approved the development plan, officials on both sides hope it's also a period of cooperation. Carolina Week's Jane Murphy has more.
After months of debate, town and university officials are preparing for the first phase of the university's 50-year master plan. Construction on the existing campus is already well underway, and now town council approval will allow the university to begin expansion into areas outside the campus perimeter. The plan will add 41 new buildings and increase the size of Carolina's campus by nearly 50% in the next 8 years. Student family housing along Mason Farm Road will be one of the first major projects of the plan, but it'll be at least a year before construction begins. The Mason Farm Road site is controversial because of its proximity to this quiet neighborhood, but university officials like Master Plan Committee Chair Jonathan Howe plan to work with residents to create a mutually beneficial environment.
We're committed to involvement of the neighbors in the detailed design of the housing and the other buildings that are going to be constructed in the perimeter transition zones around the edge of the campus.
University officials plan to conduct workshops with residents to address their concerns about the development of future sites. Chapel Hill Mayor Rosemary Waldorf is pleased with the cooperation and optimistic about future negotiations with university officials.
Generally, I think that the review process that was approved is one that's not going to be burdensome for either the university or the town, and that's a benefit for us as well.
The Town Planning Committee must approve the plans for each site before construction can begin. Cooperation with town officials and residents will continue to be important for the development of the university in the years to come. In Chapel Hill, I'm Jane Murphy, Carolina Week.
University expansion will help accommodate the plans for a 20% increase in enrollment by the year 2008.
UNC Chapel Hill students are safer today than they were 2 years ago. Arrests on campus have decreased significantly, according to an online report just released by the Department of Public Safety. The report indicates that emergency call boxes, additional outside lighting, and night transportation services contributed to the decrease. The report also suggests ways to further deter crime on campus. First, be aware of your surroundings, secure your valuables, use good judgment, and finally, communicate with DPS when crime occurs. For more information or to view the online report, visit the public safety website at www.dps.unc.edu. And coming up on Carolina Week, find out how hundreds of Carolina women are helping one fraternity raise money.
Also following the break, we'll tell you how Carolina students are encouraging closer race relations on campus.
I hang out with a pretty trashy circle. The circle that helps this circle by recycling trash. We sort glass, plastic, separate cans, stack newspapers and magazines. Now, thanks to us, there are lots of products made from things we've already recycled. This cereal box wants your Sunday paper. These paper clips, in a more daring life, a 56 convertible. The circle works like this. It starts when we recycle trash at home and at work. It's completed when we buy products made from or packaged in recycled materials. How do you know the difference? Check the label for something called post-consumer recycled content. It looks like this. Make a mental note. Then buy the highest percentage of it you can find. You'll save a tree, you'll save energy, and in your own way, you'll help save the world. Complete the circle.
Call 1-800-2-RECYCLE for your free shopping guide. Environmental Defense, finding the ways that work.
For the first time in 23 years, the UNC Chapel Hill Honor Code and Honor Court are under scrutiny. Chancellor James Measer is calling for a comprehensive review of the entire honor system. Carolina Week reporter Nicole Brusick has the story.
Have students ever read the Honor Code?
No. I don't think I've read it all the way through.
Actually, I don't really remember any of it. Most students know the Honor Code is about not cheating, but after orientation, the only involvement most students have with the code is when they sign a blue examination book before a test. Computer science professor James Coggins has lots of experience with students violating the code. Last year, he turned in 24 students for cheating.
An administrator said that the Honor Code is part of the fabric of Carolina. It's not so. The Honor Code is there, but it is so completely ignored by both faculty and students.
If a student violates the Honor Code, the case goes to the Student Attorney General's office, then possibly to the student-governed Honor Court, then the Chancellor, the Board of Trustees, and finally a case could make it all the way to the Board of Governors. Right now, a cheating case is headed to the Board of Trustees. That's as far as a case has ever gone. And last year's mass cheating case in Coggins' class has proved the system may be inefficient. Events have led Chancellor Measer to start a task force to review the Honor Code and the Honor Court, the first review in nearly a quarter of a century. Student Attorney General Brad Newcomb approves of the review.
I think everything should be reviewed. If we do not do that, then we are, simply working with a 1973 Cadillac when, we could do much better with a new car.
The task force is just beginning to review the process and hopes to complete the project by spring. In Chapel Hill, I'm Nicole Brusick, Carolina Week.
This semester, the Honor Court has tried more than 75 cases. That's double the number of trials from 1997. The majority of this semester's trials involve cheating or plagiarism. And in this week's Speak Out segment, we ask Carolina students if they take the Honor Code seriously and if the definition of cheating has changed.
I think people are being slack about cheating now and not really defining it so that they can have more ways to cheat and not be accused of cheating.
I know that I'm not doing anything that's that bad, so I don't expect to get in trouble. I would know what the Honor Code was if I was trying to cheat and slide my way through school.
It's really not clear and defined as far as where you draw the line between cheating and just cooperative learning. So something needs to, that really does need to be addressed.
I think it's a pretty good code. I mean, if everybody just tries to live by it, I don't know that many people here that really actually try and cheat their way through school.
I know incidents of people taking the test from the teacher before taking it. I've seen students have tests sitting under their desks while taking the test.
Our sample isn't scientific and shouldn't be taken as a reflection of widespread opinion on campus.
The power of one. That's the message on the campus of UNC Chapel Hill this week. The Students for the Advancement of Race Relations and the Campus Y sponsored Race Relations Week 2001. Chancellor James Measer and UNC men's basketball coach Matt Doherty were on hand Monday to kick off the week-long event. Organizers say they'd like people to gain new perspectives in understanding race relations. They say race relations typically means black and white, but this year the focus may have changed.
Because of the tragedy on September 11th, it's brought the nation as a whole together, and what it's created now is like black and white is no longer, it's not so much that it's not an issue, but it's less of an issue, and now it's more of an Arab and non-Arab.
This week marked the 16th year of Race Relations Week on campus.
There are lots of new faces at UNC Chapel Hill, and they aren't all freshmen. As Adure Achumba reports, an unfamiliar face is settling into a high-profile position in the Carolina family.
The Sonia Hayes Stone Black Cultural Center is opening its doors to new students and visitors, and new leadership. Dr. Joseph Jordan joins the Carolina staff as the director for the BCC. He comes to the center after serving as director of a cultural research library in Atlanta. He also founded the African and African American Studies programs at Antioch College in Ohio. Jordan is widely traveled and hopes to use his experiences to improve the quality of the BCC.
A lot of what I've done in the academic sense was always related in a very direct fashion to work with cultural groups in the community as well as with political groups in the community. So I've really tried to immerse myself not only in African and African American, but a great deal of international involvement.
Staff and students who interact with Dr. Jordan say he's a great addition to both the BCC and the Carolina community.
I definitely have to give him a check plus on being a Norfolk State alum. I am too a graduate of Norfolk State University, and of course I expected nothing but great things from him.
Dr. Jordan has a lot of enthusiasm, he has really wonderful ideas, and so we're excited about being under his direction.
I see that he has a lot of involvement with our work study students especially. I feel like he's going to do a great job for the center, and I look forward to working with him.
Jordan has already taken charge of the fundraising efforts for the new freestanding Black Cultural Center. In Chapel Hill, I'm Adure Achumba, Carolina Week.
Construction of the new BCC is expected to begin at the end of this year.
Fall break is coming up and many students are ready for the long weekend. But as students head home to visit family and friends, they'll be happy to know they don't have to leave. For the first time ever, residence halls will be open during fall break. Feedback from students in campus housing prompted the housing officials to keep the dorms open. Previous fall breaks have left out-of-state students scrambling for a place to stay or having to pay an additional fee to remain in their dorms. In the wake of last month's terrorist attacks, traveling home now raises serious safety concerns. Carolina senior Miles Bacon is from Ohio and says the decision is more about choice than convenience.
I think it's definitely a bit more security on my part, just the security of the fact that I can stay if I want to, I at least have the option to do so, whereas before I was just kind of forced to go out.
If you're wondering what you'll eat while you're here, Carolina Dining Services will be open throughout the break. Well, Carolina Week's Kelly Mahoney joins us now.
Kelly, it's been warm, it's cold. What's going to happen next?
Well, the good news is this warming trend will continue for a couple of days, and then we're going to get back to more seasonable conditions as we head into the weekend. I'll tell you more about that in just a minute. But first, I want to get to the weather question. And this week's weather question is, which weather changer is the fastest moving? Your choices are, is it a warm front, a cold front, an included front, or the El Nino phenomenon? The answer and your weekend forecast coming up just after the break.
When you buy disposable and overpackaged products for your home, you're really saying, I'm fine with depleting natural resources. Pollute our air and water. Energy? Wasted. People tell you, hey, go for less packaging. Check out reusables. Buy stuff in bulk. Well, you tell them, no thanks. I'd rather throw it all away. Buy smart, waste less, save more.
What would you do if your mother asked you? So class, tell me, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Oh, that's right.
Yes, Molly?
I want to be a supermodel when I grow up.
How about you, Josh?
I want to be a cowboy when I grow up.
Well, doesn't anybody want to be a designated driver when they grow up?
A what? Designated. I don't know about it.
Driver?
You heard of that?
Hi, and welcome back to Carolina Week. Well, an early shot of cold weather has it feeling like fall, and changing colors outside are making it look like fall also. The leaves have begun to change color, and seasonable weather will continue to reveal changing foliage around our area. Now, if you're wondering what this season's fall foliage is going to look like, we can actually check back to what our summer conditions were like. Factors affecting fall foliage change tend to be rain, the amount of rainfall we had during the summertime, the range of temperatures. If there were extreme temperatures, that can impact the amount of color you see in the fall. Also, a factor is wind, and the amount of sunlight that we see during the summertime are all the main factors involving what colors are really going to show up during the fall. Now, what is the foliage forecast like for this year? Well, out in the mountains, they're expecting a normal change, and that includes the central area of North Carolina as well. But down at the coast, we did have a slight drought towards the beginning of summer, and for that reason, we're anticipating a slightly below normal change in foliage color for this season. Now let's take a look at what's going on right now. We can take a quick peek at the satellite map, and you can see the beginning of a cold front that's going to sweep through our area over the weekend. You can see it has a lot of clouds and a lot of precipitation being carried with it. So let's take a look at the surface map to see what that means for our weekend forecast. Well, you can see the cold front right here situated over the Midwest, and as it sweeps through the Gulf region, it's going to pick up even more moisture with it. Now that's going to start to impact us into Saturday and Sunday. So let's take a look at what we have on the Carolina Week 4-day forecast. On Friday, we'll stay in warm conditions. It may actually get up in the upper 70s. And on Saturday, we'll start to cool down as the air begins to mix with the air coming in from the cold front. Now on Saturday night and into Sunday, that's when we're going to see our greatest risk for a lot of precipitation. Like I said, it may start in the afternoon, but the game should be safe. The biggest amount of rain should probably Saturday night into Sunday and should die out by about Sunday evening. As we head back into the week, Monday and Tuesday look nice. Temperatures cooling down to a seasonable 70. Now, if the beach forecast, or if the beach is in your plans for this weekend, the forecast down there looks pretty nice. Saturday looks good as we head into Saturday night, and Sunday once again a chance for some rain. Highs around 80 on Saturday, 77 on Sunday. Now, if you plan to head out for the mountains to take a look at some of those changing colors of the leaves, you can expect a high of 72 on Saturday, 70 on Sunday, and a chance for some scattered showers along the way. If you're going to be in town for the game, though, we kick off at 1:30 against the Virginia Cavaliers, and there might be an isolated shower, most likely not, but mostly cloudy skies and a game time temperature of 71 degrees. So we have some changing weather on the way, and getting back to the weather question, do you know which of those mechanisms change the weather the fastest?
I'm going to say B, cold front.
You're right. As that cold front sweeps through the area, that's going to change our weather real quick this weekend and in weekends to come as we start to head into fall time. So enjoy the game, though. We should be rain-free, hopefully.
Thanks, Kelly. Well, that sounds good. And Ben, this week is going to be nice, but it would sure is a rowdy crowd in Keenan Stadium on Saturday afternoon.
Yes, definitely a lot of purple mixed in with Carolina blue.
It was an interesting game, and we'll have highlights coming up. But going to break, the women's golf team hosted the Franklin Street Trust Tar Heel Invitational at Finley Golf Course this weekend. The Heels finished 17 strokes back in second place behind rival Duke. Carolina's Abby Spector finishes in 5th place with a 9-over-par tournament. Another Heel, Shelly McKevitt, finished 6th. Carolina Week returns after this.
For over 25 years, the Student Health Action Coalition has been providing free health care for people from all walks of life. Some of the services offered include children's health, women's health, HIV testing and counseling, school and work physicals, and immunizations. The clinic is located at the Carborough Community Health Center Wednesdays from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Call 942-8741 for information. Se habla español.
North Carolina is where the wonders never cease. It's where visitors and residents alike can be touched by these things and always remember the embrace of clouds around a mountain peak, sparkling water forever in a hurry, a bridge less traveled, an enchanted wetland forest, and the place where the sun meets the sea.
Welcome back to Carolina Week Sports. It's been a busy week for the Heels, starting with a big matchup for the football team. After 20 years of trash talk and bad vibes, Carolina and ECU played for the first time since 1981 on Saturday. The Pirates would start hot and lead 10-0 when Darian Durant hits Chesley Borders with a 29-yard strike, Carolina down 3. It stays that way going into halftime, and Carolina starts off the second half a little lucky. Ronald Curry and Zach Hilton practice the tip drill. Touchdown, Carolina. The Heels would get their first lead of the game, 14-10. Heels up 14-13 in the fourth when Durant scrambles and finally finds Sam Aiken wide open for the touchdown. Carolina kicker Jeff Reed would put 3 more on the board, making it 24-13 Heels. ECU would score late in the quarter, but too late for them. Pirates walk the plank. Heels win 24-21. For several weeks, there's been a cloud of confusion involving the quarterback position here at Carolina. Carolina Week's Joe Disney has been thinking about the situation.
Most everyone has a side. Should the starter be Ronald Curry, the veteran, or Darian Durant, the young gun?
As I see it, Coach John Bunting has a simple math problem on his hands. He's got 2 quarterbacks, and only one can take the snap.
But Carolina could have its cake and eat it too, with its best athlete Curry and its best quarterback Durant in the game at the same time. With Curry at receiver or running back, he could do it all, running, catching passes, or even throwing. He's done that before, and he could do it all with Durant, right now the team's best quarterback on the field. With the commentary, I'm Joe Disney, Carolina Week.
After last week's ACC victory against Duke, the Carolina men's soccer team looked to continue its winning ways at home versus Maryland. Coach Bolovich and the Heels hope to increase their offensive output, but after a physical first half, the teams were scoreless. Carolina begins to attack in the second half. Senior defensive leader Chris Leach gets offensive, burying a shot from more than 90 feet to break a 1-1 tie. It was Leach's first goal since the 1999 season. Some strong defense would seal the 2-1 victory for the now 10th-ranked Heels. The Lady Tar Heel volleyball team continues to roll, hosting Georgia Tech on Sunday, and this one would be closer than the score indicates. Off a Tech serve in the first set, the Heels set it up, and Holly Strauss spikes it down. Heels at match point in the first set. Eve Rackham serves it into play for Carolina. Tech goes for the spike, but Laura Green gets the block. And it would be that way all afternoon. Heels sweep Tech 3-0. Some in the athletic community say where you play affects how you play. Carolina Week's Benton Smith says if some Tar Heel teams play up to their new surroundings, watch out.
Carolina does things first class.
The truth in that statement can be seen in the new athletic facilities across campus, including the diving platforms and Corey Natatorium that have been in use only a few weeks. Before these new platforms were in place, platform divers had to practice their skills at Duke. Now they can practice without crossing into enemy territory. Former Carolina diver and current diving coach, Nunzio Esposito, says having these platforms should also help the program bring in more diving recruits.
Before, I don't think we were at a disadvantage not having them, but this is going to give me, a broader opportunity to be able to recruit the platform divers.
Carolina baseball has also made additions to strengthen its program. At Beauchemin Stadium, the baseball team has some new scenery behind the left field wall, a brand new video board. Coach Mike Fox hopes the new technology will showcase Carolina baseball players and keep the fans entertained. But what about the fans and football players at Kenan Stadium? They don't have a video board to showcase or entertain them. Could the football program be jealous of the baseball team's new video board?
I hope there's not any of that, around here. I don't think there is, and I'm sure I've heard that, video boards may be coming to Keenan soon here.
Video boards or not, the football team has a state-of-the-art practice facility to use. The track inside Eddie Smith Fieldhouse can be converted into an 80-yard football field for use in bad weather. In Chapel Hill, I'm Benton Smith, Carolina Week Sports.
There's also some new locker rooms set up for the baseball and basketball teams, as well as a new golf facility and a new softball complex underway.
Great, and this Friday night is Midnight Madness with Matt, is that correct?
Yes, it is. Friday nights in Carmichael.
Great, thanks, Ben. Fraternities and sororities consider community service a crucial part of Greek life.
Sigma Chi fraternity is finding a fun way to fundraise, even if it means getting wet. We'll have more on what they're up to when Carolina Week continues.
Did you know that 1,600 children are infected with HIV worldwide every day? The mission of the Elizabeth Glaser Pediatric AIDS Foundation is to give children a future of hope. The foundation funds pediatric research to ensure that children are at the forefront of every scientific breakthrough. Every child deserves the chance to live a healthy life. Help give a child that chance.
Support the Elizabeth Glaser Pediatric AIDS Foundation.
You're looking at the bomb diggity numero uno smoke detector. That's me, Seymour Smoke. If you don't have a working smoke detector in your house or apartment, you could end up being smoked. So you gotta make sure you check me out at least once a month. Just push my button here. That sound tells you I'm working. So be cool about fire safety. Tell your moms and pops to have at least one smoke detector.
Gotta be cool. Be cool about fire safety.
For the 1.3 million children living with AIDS, we can do more than just learn the facts about HIV. Through Caring for Kids 101, a campus outreach program, college students nationwide are helping to end this deadly disease. Half of all newly infected people are under the age of 24. Your assignment, get involved with Caring for Kids 101.
Every child deserves the chance to live a healthy life. Support the Elizabeth Glaser Pediatric AIDS Foundation.
Escucha Smokey antes de tratar.
Solo tú.
No juegues con fósforos, no juegues con fuego. No hay nada perturbable con el asustado o un pobre ratón sin casa en que vivir. Si un hermoso bosque es lo que deseas, no juegues con fósforos, no juegues con fuego.
Solo tú puedes prevenir los fuegos forestales.
¡Fuego!
Well, it's not about racing cars, it's about raising money. Derby Days is off and running at UNC Chapel Hill. 120 Sigma Chi fraternity chapters across the country participate.
Carolina's chapter is the nation's #1 fundraiser in this event. In the past, some sorority members have said it's degrading, but after a couple of changes, the fraternity's co-chairman, Will Shepard, says the event is back on track.
We wanted to put the emphasis on fundraising. We wanted everybody to realize that this is about the kids and not so much as just having a big party.
Proceeds go to the North Carolina's Children's Hospital, the Children's Miracle Network, and the American Red Cross. Through events such as a kickball tournament, dunk take, and karaoke, Sigma Chi raises spirit and money. Last year, Sigma Chi raised $22,000. This year, they've already raised more than $45,000 and are expecting to get more than $50,000.
Well, that does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thank you for joining us, and be sure to watch again next week.
Until then, have a good night and a good week.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.